Come one, come all to the Joe Pometto Law Show live. We are live from New York City. I'm sorry, I mean Pittsburgh, PA. Same thing, about the same thing. Let's see, what do we got today? Some guy in the comments told me I have a robotic voice and that he just can't take it. He said he loves the channel. Wait, we gotta wait. This comment. This comment is just too damn good. Who comes in just to hear me whistle? In some way, nah. Hello. I got all right. I got some. All right, Mr. DeBit. Hi, Kelly. How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. I gotta read this comment. I mean, I don't like to call people out for comments, but when you leave a comment, you're basically saying everybody can see it. Held for, man, I cannot find it now. Where did he comment? Where did he leave this comment? I believe it was in this. Geez, where's my comments? Yeah, it's in this video. Hello, Kelly. Can we talk about New York's new rule about the term illegal citizen? Why don't you? Yeah, but you're gonna have to educate me. Welcome to. Dang, what is up with my computer? You're gonna have to educate me on it. I'm not. I think I saw that blurb, but I don't know much about it. Welcome to. Okay, and for some reason my internet doesn't want to load the YouTube pages properly, and I can't see the comments. But it was a really passive aggressive sort of comment here. Okay, here's the comment from that guy over there. He goes, Joe, I love your content, but seriously, lose the robotic voice. I don't know whether you're reading from a script or not, but if so, do a dry run before recording. Just friendly advice. Keep up the good work. Do I have a robotic voice? This is going to be the Joe Pometto Critique Law Show. Do I have a robotic voice? I mean, I understand. That's because I try to slow it down a little bit, I think, so that people can listen to me. Otherwise, I talk really, really fast. Joe, I love your content, but seriously, lose the robotic voice. Man, he's pissed. Maybe I do in some of the videos. I try not to do it. I don't know if he's a troll or if he's serious. So I was just curious. I wanted to hear everyone's opinion. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. If you use the term illegal alien in a threatening or demeaning manner, such as a threat to turn them into ice, you will be fined $250,000. If you use the term illegal alien in a threatening or demeaning manner, well, in a lot of states, terroristic threats is a crime. So if you threaten anyone with any language at all, it's illegal. It's a crime. Now, to threaten someone, you know, by saying illegal alien or in a demeaning manner, I don't know how a court would determine that. I really don't. So I'm not for restrictions on speech. I got this big zit too. but that's not a threat to say you're going to turn them in for illegal behavior. Well, such as a threat to turn them into ICE. I don't think it should be. That's got to get challenged constitutionally because it just sounds ridiculous. It may stand up in New. I don't think it would stand up in the United States Supreme Court, but I'm really not sure. I think it's stupid, and I think it's an unnecessary restriction on speech. I'm for free speech and all. I mean, it's kind of a threat, but not a threat that can be charged. Yeah, I mean, if you're threatening to turn someone in for illegal conduct, that's not a threat. So I think it's a ridiculous law. Let's see. Judy sings, Ring cameras, are the videos from these cameras admissible in court? Yeah, they generally would be because as long as you can authenticate them correctly, yeah, there's no reason that they wouldn't be. So, you got to save them and you got to come into court and prove that they are what you purport them to be. So, if you set up your Ring camera, you'd have to come into court and say that you set up the camera. This is where it was located. This is the time that it was recording. And if you can authenticate it in that manner, yes, it should be admissible in court. I mean, it's kind of a threat, but not a threat. I want to be the first one charged with that. I don't think you do, Kelly. Are you in New York? Someone will definitely get charged with it. But if that was my client, I'd tell him to go to trial, and then I would appeal it all the way to the United States Supreme Court. And there will probably be an enterprising attorney who does just that. We got 13 in here. Let's see. I'm a little tired today, but I'm going to truck along. I'm thinking of changing the videos to a different day. Because for some reason, I don't have the energy on Wednesdays. It's hump day. I have a lot more energy on the weekends. And even on Thursday and Friday. So I may change the live shows. Wednesday sucks. Yeah, man. I don't like Mondays. I'll tell you how my week goes. Mondays, I'm miserable. Tuesdays, I have like a lot of energy. I'm ready to like tackle the day. And then Wednesdays, I have like energy in the morning, but then by midday, I'm like, oh, 2 more days. And then Thursday, my mood improves a little bit. And then Friday is freaking awesome. So yeah, I just, for whatever reason, Wednesday, hump day 3, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I just never feel like doing it on Wednesdays. And I like doing it on the weekends though. So maybe I got to set up a weekend time. But, most people come on in the evenings, and I'm usually trying to do stuff on the weekend evenings. If I was going to be charged, I would just hit the one giving me a ticket. Be charged with all you can get. Isn't that, well, that ain't the way it can be, because sometimes people people have like a little bit of marijuana and they're going to get arrested, and then they fight with the cops, and all of a sudden they're charged with a felony because they had a nickel bag of weed. How nervous would you be to argue a case in front of SCOTUS? I would be pretty damn nervous. I would be really, really, I don't know. I like to think that I wouldn't be that nervous, but I probably would be. I don't, a few years ago when I started practicing law, I was nervous every time I went in front of a judge. And now that's just really not the case anymore. You just sort of realize that, not even the judges are 100% sure of what they're doing. And you go in there and you do the best you can. And, most situations, you just say what's on your mind and talk your way out of it, and don't be a douchebag. I'd love to argue in front of the Supreme Court, but yeah, I'm sure I'd be terrified. I hate court. Nothing good happens there. Well, that's true. Nothing good happens there for most people. Um, you know, if you're going to court, you may have been charged with a crime. You are going through a divorce or some sort of child custody proceeding, or somebody has sued you, or you are suing somebody. So yeah, that's my clients are like, oh, I'm happy to meet you, and I'll call you again if I ever need you. And I always tell them, I'm like, let's hope you never need me again, because when a lawyer's involved, it's almost certainly means a bad thing is happening. I mean, I can't think of lawyers who every transaction or case they have is something good. Both Paul Harvey, hello, Joe, from Bothell, Washington. Hello, Paul. Thank you for joining us from Bothell, Washington. Sounds like a nice little town, and Washington is a state that I would love to visit. The only thing that happened to me, I was thrown out. Well, in that case, that's something to be proud of, because it's not that easy. The judges don't like to throw people out unless they have to. So good work. Good work. Let's see, what attorneys handle good. If you're a business attorney or a real estate attorney, you may be making transactions and sales happen. And that has a pretty positive connotation to it for everybody involved. Immigration attorneys who help people gain their citizenship, I think that's a positive. So he's taking the post down. Dang it. I saw it. I didn't get a chance to look at it. He thinks he's coming to money. I think he just got copies of a class action report. Yeah, I've been a member of a class action. I got like 75 cents. Adoptions, yes, Kelly, that's good news. I mean, you go down there, you get a marriage certificate. I think a lot of the judges, they like to do weddings because their job is, dispensing justice is usually pretty somber and not, I mean, how good does it feel if you're a judge? 50% of the time, half the people you deal with are going to be walking out disappointed, depressed, sad. Now, 50% may be happy, but there's always a loser if you end up in court. You were stationed on Whidbey Island, Washington. Boy, that sounds like the middle of nowhere, man. Had to get a TBI. Oh, my God. Sound like I was drunk. That'll do it. Do you think people should get a double restraining order if my person places on me? Can I do the same? Yeah, if you get a restraining order filed against you, sometimes it's a good idea to go file one against that person if you have good cause, because then we call them, they're called PFAs. We call them cross PFAs. You would call them cross restraining orders, and that can give you bargaining leverage. Come from a small town, one little restaurant. I was sitting in there eating. They come in and said I had to leave. Why'd they tell you have to leave, Alta? They can't just tell you to leave. Well, actually, they can. It's got out. The owners told the other person to leave. That is their restaurant. And the owners told the other person to leave. Yeah, I mean, the owners can decide who comes in and out of the restaurant. East Coast traffic laws are really different than West Coast. Really? That's interesting. I was called up for jury duty, and I knew the plaintiff, the woman involved, both lawyer and prosecutor. That's pretty good. Oh, by the way, I got called for jury duty. The first week in November, I have to report for jury duty. And I'll tell you what's going to happen is I'm going to fill out the little chart, and it's going to have my, my profession, and I'm going to get struck by one of the lawyers, and I may know the attorneys, and I might know the judge. I don't do that much civil work, so I don't know the civil judges, but I know most of the criminal court judges in my county. Because in Florida, does not matter who is there first. Nutcase, all your ex-girlfriends. Whoa, this is getting personal. this is getting personal. Does it hurt to be struck? Only if someone hits you with a baseball bat. Let's see what else is going on. I'm thinking of splitting. I mean, here's the thing is my, I get a lot of content doing, I'm sorry, I get a lot of traffic doing sovereign citizens and auditors and, the police stops. I mean, I get literally 10 times the views on my videos when I do sovereign citizen content. When I do straight legal content, which is why I created this channel in the first place, I don't get nearly as many views. So I'm thinking of cutting out the straight legal content or doing a different channel. And just changing the name of this channel and just making it straight sovereign citizen, auditor, police stops, First Amendment. Now, if I do that, well, I'll still go live. I still plan to go live at least once a week. I may just change the time up. And I may go live on both channels, but I want to make the content for both. I enjoy doing both of them. But I just get way more views. And if you watch a lot of YouTubers, the advice is to specialize if you really want your channel to take off. And I'd like to get it to take off. And if I focus on, it's just, I think I get a lot of mixed audience. And if I could do the cute pet videos correctly, I would. I get a lot of mixed audience. Paul, give me a suggestion for a name. I am going to change the name. Hey, Joe Donho. I get a lot of mixed audience, and I'd like to have the people. Again, it's just, I think it's a good idea to specialize on YouTube. Because people may subscribe to this channel only looking for one type of content, and when videos pop up with other types of content, it can decrease viewership on your videos. I mean, if you watch other YouTubers, you'll see you watch other YouTubers, most of them specialize. Most of them just have one topic or one issue that they cover exclusively, whether it's news or science related. And mine's sort of like that because everything I do still falls within the legal realm. But I'd really like to build a channel that is straight legal content that I can link to my website and use to promote my law firm. Whereas the sovereign citizen content doesn't necessarily serve that purpose. However, I get a lot of views doing that content, and I enjoy doing it. So I think I'm gonna split it up. For auditor, I mean, I had a vote. A lot of people seem to like Sovereign Citizen Watch. I kind of want to put that in my name, but I kind of don't because I'll draw a lot of nutcases, even though I get a lot of nutcases to begin. I'm not talking about you, nutcase too. I'm talking about other, legit nutcases. How do you get more people to your channel? When I do one on abandoned places, I put that in the title, description, and then the tags. Yeah, I do all of that, Alta. People just like that content that I make. It's a popular thing on YouTube. Yeah. Okay, but Sov sits. I can see liens coming your way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I don't need to be dealing with liens. It might come anyway. I mean, I don't really care that much, but I'd rather not deal with it. I mean, because I would just annihilate them in court and file criminal charges if necessary. How about legal theory versus legal fact? Well, no, the one is gonna, like, one channel is just gonna be like, if you see in my description now, sovereign citizens, First Amendment auditors, First Amendment issues, and I'll probably still cover like legal news type stuff. Okay. And then my other channel is going to be strictly just legal advice, popular legal issues. And that one I'm going to call, this is going to be the name, because no one can, we don't live in Italy, so my last name is not that easy. Auditor myths. I was thinking of calling it, this is the name I like, the Common Sense Academy. And basically, you know, it's or I was going to call it the Common Law Academy. And I was going to say, this is the channel where we teach common sense to those who have their own version of the common law. But I'm leaning towards Common Sense Academy because basically it's just I'm just a lawyer teaching common sense to auditors, sovereign citizens, or other people who get into goofy interactions with the police because they believe in fake law, fake news. What's the difference? Well, you know, common sense is no longer common. You watch on Roku. Yeah, well, Roku's awesome. I had it on a hacked Fire Stick for a while. So I think I'm going to split in two shows. It's going to be, you're going to have the Common Sense Academy. Okay, and that's going to feature sovereign citizens, auditors, police videos, First Amendment stuff. When people call themselves auditors, because it makes me crazy, was one of my kids is an internal auditor with 7 years college. Yeah, these are idiot auditors, not like real auditors. Hey, Joe Don, common law is not common sense. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it greatly. What do you, Joe Don, what do you like that? And do you like Common Sense Academy name? What do you like? Common Sense Academy or Common Law Academy. Sovereigns, auditors, bears, oh my. I really thought about that one. I bought, oh, here's one. Here's one. How about that one? Common Laws Academy. How about No Country for Sovereign Cits? Truths and Myths of Common Law. That's not bad, man. That's not bad. Auditors are us. That's not bad, but it's Truths and Myths of Common Law. It's, you know, the focus is on auditor sovereign citizen topic. And Truths and Myths of Common Law would be me like breaking down, it'd be like me taking examples of law, like popular myths in the law, and sort of like breaking those down. Let freedom ring. Common law sounds like marriage. Well, the reason I say common law is because that's what the sovereign citizens believe. They have their own interpretation and version of the common law, and they think the common law is different than the law that we actually have, even though much of our actual law is common law. We do not consent. That's not bad, Taze. That's not bad. How about auditing auditors? Auditing the auditors. Auditing auditor oddballs. Auditing auditor oddballs. We do not consent's not bad. We do not consent. That's actually, yeah. Taze, you might have found, that might be it. We do not consent. There's already one guy doing auditing the auditor. Yeah, that had to happen. That had to happen. There is a channel auditing the audit. In fact, he's pretty good. We do not consent. How about I just call it name and badge number? Name and badge number, please. Yeah, I remember, but they only give that for a short time until I told them all their money levied, including income. He hides behind a mask. but he breaks down a person doing an audit. How about a show on what admiralty law is as opposed to what sovereign citizen says it is? See, I could do an episode on that. What admiralty law really is. I like that. Admiralty law in reality, and then the fake sov sit story. Sir, I will do that, Joe Don Ho. I will do that. Thank you. That's coming. That is coming. Odd law. Sovereign citizen smash. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Oh, the sovereign citizens. How about dumb interpretation of laws that should be understood smartly? That's actually a good title, but it's too long. It's a little too long. See, I'm going to make my other show Joe the Lawyer, because there's a dude out there. I don't know if you guys have seen his show, Mike the Cop. And he's got about 1 million. He's got a ton of viewers. Sovereign citizen gets owned. See, what I worried about was putting sovereign citizen in the title itself. Do you know who the major players are yet, such as Eric Brandt? I mean, sort of. Not really. I've developed an unhealthy obsession with sovereign citizens. Maybe you are one, Joe Don Ho. Just kidding. You've seen Mike the Cop? Yeah. So I think I'm going to steal from him, and I'm going to be Joe the Lawyer on my other show. And yeah, I mean, I've heard of Eric Brandt because I did one video with him in it, but I don't really know the major players. Same with the sovereign citizens. I mean, I kind of do, but like, I'd rather not focus on the individuals who do the auditing, or the individuals that play the sovereign citizen game. I'd rather just focus, on the movements, the concepts, the videos themselves. I'd rather not pick on people personally here. Audit the auditor. Auditing the auditor. Okay, I'm going to look that up right now. Let's see what that's all about. Audit the auditor. What's he got going on? Dude, my YouTube is coming up weird. You know that? Got booted. Took forever. What'd you get booted? You got booted? For what? Tase the audit. Audit the auditor. What's his show called? Oh, your internet one. Audit the audit. Oh, okay. Audit the audit. See, he's killing it.
To Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers the importance of dash cams and features 2 videos from the channels of Tigger Maddie and Sean Chabajan. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Before we get into the episode, many viewers have asked for recommendations for dash cams. I personally use the Blackview DR900S 2-channel IR model, along with the 4K Ultra. There
you go. Is it possible to run dash cam? They work. Audit the auditor. Audit the audit. He's got it going on. Okay. Sovereign citizen. See, I get way more views on my sovereign citizen. How about shooting auditors, like the Democrats did a movie on Democrats hunting Republicans? I get way more hits on my sovereign citizen stuff than I do on the auditors. Sovereign citizen channel. He seems to be fair. Sovereign citizens getting owned. See, there's a lot of auditor action out there, not as much in the sovereign citizens. So I think that's going to be more of my forte. We do not consent. How about no country for sovereigns? No country. I don't know why I like that name. No country for sovereigns. Maybe I got to do another pool. Here's what we're going to do. Sovereign citizen, bright ones. Here's what we're going to do. There is a name generator. Podcast name generator. Degeneration Nation. Yeah, I've seen them. How about commenting on the Sandy Hook lawsuits? Do you mean the lawsuit, Joe Don Ho? Do you mean the lawsuit against Alex Jones? Degeneration Nation. Yeah, I've seen Degeneration. Okay, podcast name generator. Your topic. Sovereign citizens. Your name. Joe Pometto. Your city. Pittsburgh. True sovereign citizen stories. The Sovereign Citizen Show. Joe Pometto saves the world. Stuff you should know about sovereign citizens. Sovereign Citizens Lab. Scale of sovereign citizens. I got suspended on Twitter for saying lawns should be tarred and feathered, and so I deleted the whole app. I purposely spelled it that way. Gotta go with we will not consent. That is the best so far. I agree with you, Diane. Glad that dumb professor near us got fired because he said that Sandy Hook did not happen. Tase the auditors and laugh, bro. You may have it, man. You may have it. Sovereign citizens rule the world. Modern sovereign citizens, the brain, the times of sovereign citizens, global sovereign citizens, the root of all sovereign citizens, not your normal, the sovereign citizens incident, the sovereign citizens dream, making sense of sovereign citizens. I gift you the name. Well, now that you've officially gifted it, you have you no longer have any trademark or copyright rights, Taze. So are you sure you want to do that? That might be the name of your channel. Not your normal the root of all crime and sovereign citizens. Billo does story on killing everybody from Jesus to killing Reagan, so killing auditors by the book for 1999. I was thinking of writing an ebook on the sovereign citizen movement. I just don't have time. Like, you guys want me, I want to watch a lot of these videos, man, but I just don't have time. I need an intern. Who wants to be my intern? Who wants to intern from, you can do it from home. Bum, bum, bum. Have Eric. Eric doesn't come to my live videos anymore. He still drops comments, but no live videos. An intern who specializes in conspiracy theories. Yes. Admit it. Do you fast forward through a lot of videos? You need to watch the First Amendment auditors. No, I don't fast forward through videos. I just don't have time to watch a lot of videos or even fast forward them. Yeah, Eric would be awesome. Does he have a full-time job? I'm pretty sure he does. What is the sovereign citizen stuff about? Diane, welcome. Well, sovereign citizens are these people in America, and it's a growing movement who have this theory that the law does not apply to them. And send an email, my name at Google. And Diane, you know, essentially the sovereign citizens, they have there's a whole basket of beliefs that they have. It's an old sort of thing, grew out of tax protesters, people saying, you cannot tax me, you cannot tax me, you cannot tax me. And they do this in a whole bunch of different ways by claiming, number one, that the United States Constitution is illegitimate, by claiming that the Articles of Confederation are still in effect, by claiming that certain statutes passed by Congress are illegitimate, and therefore any law passed by the federal or state government is illegitimate. They claim that the Declaration of Independence is law, which overrides all of the other laws that have been created. Really, at the core of it is they think that if they haven't written a contract with an individual or given that person the power to have some sort of authority over them, then nobody has authority over them. That includes courts, judges, police officers, and they challenge courts, judges, and police officers in a whole bunch of different ways. None of it's sensical and none of it ever works. Many of them end up getting tased and thrown in jail, and it's pretty hilarious to watch. Some of the sovereign citizens are dangerous. They take these ideas to an extreme. The one thing they have as common is they don't believe their car windows can be broken. That is true. That is true. And they all, that myth gets blown up. What was the first gun law and what was justification for it somehow not being unconstitutional? That is, you know, zero buts given. That's a good question. You know, because this country's been around for over 200 years, and I do wonder what the first gun law was, because you know, you have to assume in the 1800s. I mean, we watch these cowboy flicks, right, where they walk into the old Wild West town, and the sheriff says, "No guns in my town." Well, you know, you really can't do that today. Maybe back then their justification was the Second Amendment doesn't apply to them because they were in New Mexico before it was a state. Yeah, proper laws of dueling. They are complete idiots that are so convinced they write, they film it for us to laugh. Exactly. Google it. The sovereign citizen, it's a whole movement, but essentially it's people who are either mentally ill or really, really just want some reason to believe that the regular rules of society don't belong to them. So they dig up all this nonsense on the internet, and then whenever they encounter police, they spit it back out. And generally, it does not end well for them. Movies aren't accurate when it comes to guns. Yeah, man, I got you. All I'm saying is I don't know. Like, I don't know. That would take some deep, deep research. I'm sure somebody's wrote a book on it. Even in the Wild West, a lot of towns wouldn't allow guns. That's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't give a shit about the Second Amendment. So I just really don't know the history of gun laws. Remember, before the 14th Amendment existed, gun laws were state laws. That's likely true, but the Second Amendment, that's very true. That's very true. The Second Amendment has been around since the Constitution. But yeah, before the Constitution was applied to the states, I'm sure every state did have their own individual laws. Joe, my legal question is kind of long. Can I email it to you? Yes, at this email. I'd be happy to take a crack at it if you want to do a condensed version. I'm getting pretty tired though, so I think I'm going to stay live for about 10 more minutes, And I'm going to have to figure out a different day to start going live, ladies and gentlemen. No law requiring you to pay tax. File a 1040, 100,000 if proven otherwise. Scams. Bunch of scams. That's another part of the sovereign citizen movement. Scamming. You know, how can they scam money out of people? Really quite shady. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I've seen those, but they weren't selling anything. Get rest. I would do the live on Fridays or Mondays. Zero, tell the IRS that. Man, when you guys see that, this, if you do really well, I'll pass the word. I just got called by one. Yeah, thank you, Diane. I appreciate you stopping in. I like I said, it's gonna be. I didn't take them. I'm about to split this into 2 channels. I'm just letting everybody know. But what I plan on doing is putting, so my live streams are going to go to both channels. So you're going to have Joe the Lawyer, and then you're going to have We Do Not Consent. And on We Do Not Consent, the topic is going to be sovereign citizens, auditors, video analysis. Joe the Lawyer is just going to be general legal knowledge. Like, I'm going to basically, because I practice law, everything I learn every day, or things like the last video I did. I mean, a lot of you probably didn't watch, and I don't blame you. It's not that interesting, unless you're in the legal field, perhaps, or unless you need a lawyer. It was on the difference between take specialized channels turns into 2 general channels. It's on the difference between a private attorney and a public defender, because people were asking me that during my live streams. And so, the other thing too is I'm getting a new website for my law practice, and I want to start posting all of my YouTube videos. And I just don't like, I'll probably post a link to the sovereign citizen content, but people who go to my website are going to want to click on videos that have spitting out legal knowledge, being an authority in my field, which is criminal defense and personal injury, rather than laughing at sovereign citizens. Now, again, I love doing the sovereign citizen content, but I'm gonna have to listen. You guys don't have to watch both of them. Do me a favor, subscribe to both of them, but you don't have to watch both of them. Pick the one you like and watch, or pick the videos that you like. When a video that you like comes up, watch it. You don't have to watch all the videos. I'm just telling you that YouTube, if I want to grow my channel, YouTube suggests specializing more. So, and Joe the Lawyer, actually, you're right. Just take specialized channels turns into 2 general channels. Joe the Lawyer will be a general channel, but the videos will all be the same. All right, Zero, thank you. You're welcome. But Joe the Lawyer will be much more general, but We Do Not Consent, or Common Sense Academy, whatever I decide to call it, is not going to be, that's going to be pretty specific. Like, I'm sort of breaking it down. I'm going to do my sovereign citizen stories, which people get a kick out of. And I'm going to do basically video breakdowns, and that's it. And then I may do news analysis too, because like I get a decent number of views for those, and I think people like them. But I just don't want my channel to be me making. Send me the email, Kevin. Thank you. I just don't want my channel to be, I have people come here, watch the sovereign citizen, watch the auditor content, and then they get a hit for what's the difference between a private and a public defender, private attorney and public defender. They're not going to be interested in that. And I'm following the YouTube's own advice, because I would like to grow my channel both my channels as much as possible. And everybody who's been here from the start and helped me out, I appreciate it. That other attorney you brought in that one time was really good. Yeah, and when I do the lawyer, so that's the other thing too, is if I make Joe the lawyer, people suggested this, I had thought about doing this right from the beginning, is I'm going to bring in all kinds of attorneys to do shows with. So I'm going to bring in prosecutors, other criminal defense attorneys, public defenders. I may even be able to get local judges or local politicians. I am friends with some former judges who also, I believe, would be happy to come on and do an episode and an interview. And now these are all local people, right? So this is the Pittsburgh area, but it's not going to stop you guys. If I go live and I do that, it's not going to stop you guys from, or anybody coming on and asking, ask a judge a question. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. You want to ask a judge or, it's also for people in the legal field or curious about the legal field. I will find some hot female attorneys as well. Yes. Maybe we'll just do a whole series called Hot Female Attorneys. Or maybe here's what we need to do is I got to have a code name for it, because if I call it Hot Female Attorneys, they're not going to come on. But maybe I can call it like attorneys with wine. And then that will naturally attract the hot female attorneys. Yeah, Kelly, I'd probably get some cops as well. And that's what I mean. And I just think that would be a lot of fun. Like former judge, former district attorney. None of the current district attorneys would probably come on. But I work with former district attorneys who turned into defense attorneys. That's what they do. So I think that will be interesting, like former prosecutors, former public defenders, former judges, police officers, practicing attorneys, et cetera, ex-cons. I've already had ex-cons on. That was one of my first episodes where we talked about what it's like to live in the county jail. But yeah, ex-cons too, all that stuff. And maybe what I'll do is mostly make those videos, mostly do live stuff, because with the interaction, I think people would really get a kick out of it. Thanks, Taze. I'm glad you saw it. So the split is probably going to come this weekend, but you don't have to do anything with this video. This channel, everything's going to stay the same. You're just going to it's just going to have a new name. And probably in the intro to my videos for a couple of weeks, I'll send people over to the other channel in order to subscribe if you want. But I'll put all the links in the description, etc. So you like this channel, you want to stick with this channel won't go anywhere, and the live stream will continue. Excuse me. Eric, hello, sir. Glad to have you back. I'm about to go to bed. Bum, 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 bum. Eric, I volunteered you to help Joe write a book. No, I was asking for an intern, and he said, ask Eric. Or no, I was asking for someone. We should write an ebook on sovereign citizens. Who wants to help me do it? Have to go. Have a good night. See you later, nutcase. Quit burping up poison. Just because, I don't know, nobody's written a book on sovereign citizens. Like, nobody's written a book on it. Or even, there's not even a lot of good content out there besides like Wikipedia and YouTube. And I just thought it would be interesting for there to be some more written content. And it's just something that I was going to drop on my show. It'd be like not like a super long book. Okay. Maybe like 25 pages real simple to read, but it will outline a lot of the concept with sovereign citizens, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I don't know if I drop an ebook. If I drop an ebook, I'll probably definitely get liens filed against me. They will definitely get liens. What do you guys? Burping Up Poison would be a great name for a band. What? Taze, you need your own show, man. What are you doing? You're too funny, and you already got the title. Taze Auditors Laugh Like Hell. I mean, you got it. And this bro out here audit the auditors, man. The Bar Association, Bar and Grill, Cannonsburg, a Yinzer Comfort City Chicken and Pierogies. Well, yeah, that looks good. You are just not right, Taze. So that's the plan. We're all right. Listen, Eric, thanks for joining. Kelly, send me an email. And even if we don't do a book, like a PDF or something, like 20 pages, it'll be a little bit of fun and a little bit of knowledge. A pop-up book. Bro, and I would love to do the pop-up book. I would love, oh my God. Like, the window shatters as the sovereign's head pops out of it, like pop. I hope a book, I feel like, has jumped the shark. Not much content dropping anymore. It's I don't know. You'd have your, I don't know. You maybe have your finger on the pulse better than I do, Eric. But from what I read, there's more like sovereign citizens. There's just more and more than ever before. Like, I think the internet has created an explosion of sovereign citizens. I mean, they're listed as like one of the most dangerous domestic terrorist groups. More like domestic psychos, but they're dangerous. They create hundreds of dangerous encounters a day, probably. How sovereign citizens helped swindle $1 billion from the government they disavow. See, the New York Times did an article, March 29th, 2019. Not a fan of the New York Times, but if you make the New York Times, you're doing something big, good or bad. Law enforcement courts wrestle with sovereign citizens. April 10th, 2019. The movement is growing. Okay, everyone. It's 9 o'clock. It's my bedtime. Tomorrow, let me tell you about my day tomorrow. They've stopped filming themselves. Body cams will be the best content creators going forward. You're probably right. Tomorrow, I have 3 hearings, all scheduled for the same time in 3 different locations. They're all scheduled for 9 a.m. And I'll tell you, I got to be at this. There's the Allegheny County Jail has a courthouse. And I'm going to be in there at 9 a.m. to take care of 2 of my hearings. And then I got to run up the street to the Allegheny County Courthouse and take on another hearing. And we're talking guns, drugs, and death threats. I'm dealing with all of those tomorrow, along with driving on a suspended license. So If you ever need a criminal defense attorney, give me a call. And if you know a sovereign citizen who's gotten arrested but actually wants a real lawyer, I'll help him too. All right, everybody, have a nice night. Diane, I got to get up. I got to get up at the butt crack of dawn. Thank you for tuning in, though. I appreciate it, Diane. And that's just the judge. Taze, you ain't kidding, brother. All right, peace.